Boom. We back up in this piece. One more again. I'm in the presence of some of my esteemed colleagues, I guess you would say. We got John on the call, Mike, Caleb, Mr. Marcus on the call right now. We might have some more people pulling up soon. But here's the deal. Come one, come all. It's time to grow. Welcome to the Dorian Adams Motivation Show. This is where we will go over topics such as the balance of life pertaining to faith, finances, friends, family, and fitness. And I might have said it backwards, but y'all get it. And we talk about more stuff than that. On today's call, I asked the guys on the call, what is it? What would be the one thing that you would share with somebody if you were charged with sharing something that you felt like would be absolutely instrumental, something that you would say nothing else would be more important than saying this one thing to this person if that was the only thing you had to say to them? And so here's the call. I got a variety, a range of feedback. And what I want to do is almost share somebody's feedback, and I'm gonna pick somebody to elaborate on that. Right? So let's start here, because I feel like it was a really solid, thought-provoking thing to say to somebody. And I'm gonna ask John to elaborate on this. John, the answer was that they would say to trust God, to lean on God. Let's just start there. What you got, John?
What's going on, everybody? Good evening.
John, what's going on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will let y'all know I'm on my way home. So if you hear background noise, it's because I'm also driving right now. Who you said the other people in the call said that God was the thing to trust God.
Yeah, that was the feedback I got when they was presented with the scenario. They said that they would share with the person to, God is the way.
Okay, so what I had texted him and told him was something along the lines of your ability to be transparent with yourself will determine the quality of your experience, the quality of your life.
No, that was yours. So we was gonna try to hold back on that, but now everybody know what John said.
I thought that's what you was asking.
No. But I mean, it's all good, bro. We you know what I mean, we're gonna grow. This ain't nothing but a discovery motion in the first place. The thing is, I want you to elaborate on how you feel like what that other person said would resonate with you, or how, you know what I mean? Well, just your thoughts on that. If that was what somebody came to share with you, if that's the only thing they had to say to you, how would you feel about that? What would you do with that information?
Okay, so first we have to acknowledge that um, many people have different understandings of what God is, or some people say they do believe or don't believe in God. I just like to leave it at people understand God from different perspectives. So I'm going to answer this from my perspective and my understanding of God. Trusting God. If there was one thing that you could say to someone, it would be to trust in God. God, the divine power, the divine source, that which is omnipresent, expresses itself through love, and so on and so forth. I think that's an excellent answer. I think it's It definitely covers all aspects of life because of how broad it is. I would say that I agree, but I chose the answer that I did because it deals with a specific aspect of our experience in life. So it's like it's almost like there's so much that I could say to that that I'd have to like think about it and choose one aspect of it to dig into at a time because it could take forever. But my my plain answer would be that I agree with that. I think that if there was something that you could tell to someone that would stick with them for the remainder of their life, that would work for sure. I mean,
Right.
to have what it means to have faith in God and trust in God means that you give a certain aspect of yourself to something that is bigger than you and bigger than, let's say, anyone that you know and anything that you know. So everything that you do will be guided by the principles of, let's just say, God. So, like I said, that's why I chose something a bit more specific and narrow because I could expound upon it a bit better. But you asked me to respond to that one, so that's what I'm trying to do.
No, I got you. I got you. But that's why you know what I mean. The format is set up like this because we want to allow. We appreciate your answer too. We want to allow for everybody to chime in because we already know, man. This ain't no, you know, just no. It's not a circus call. This is mature discourse, and we're trying to find our way to some discovery about all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But for the most part, it's going to be some discovery that can enrich us potentially and impact our lives and allow us to possibly impact others. So yeah, no, that was good stuff. Who we got? Uh, let's tap in. Let's tap in, Mike. Well, he looked like he took off somewhere.
No, I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I hear you. Your camera went off. But
Okay.
So let's get your feedback on John's statement.
On the trust God or John's statement.
No, on John's. John, hit us with yours again, real quick.
Hit it with me because I was still have my head. I was preparing for the trust God thing.
What was yours?
So I said that your ability to be transparent with yourself, your ability to be honest with yourself, will determine the quality of your experience, the quality of your life. That's supposed to be a message that can sustain you through the rest of your life. I could be wrong, but that's what my answer is. So that's what it is. Yeah.
All right. Ain't no such thing as a wrong answer, man. We all growing. We sharing information. I appreciate you for sharing that. Actually, I like that a lot because when you were responding to the trust in God, I'm like, okay, well, that's overall a good. I wish I could get my camera to work. I don't know what's going on with it. I'm like, that's overall. There it is. That's overall a good statement that you say that in a forum or you say that in a group
Metro of people. Phone? What kind of phone? You
Man, come on, bro. I got the new Samsung S27.
S27,000.
It come with the platinum case and a camera.
Nice.
But I like your response and because it did provide detail. I'm just going to touch on the trust in God. Like, yeah, that's it is. It's a heartfelt statement. But whenever you generalize, you leave so much room for negativity. And things that start looking like, okay, well, trust in God, like, I'm sure that,
Hold on. What you answering?
Well, I'm gonna answer his. I'm gonna answer his. I'm giving a spinoff or kind of like a reference to what his statement is in detail to trust in God. Just that overall general statement can leave way for some not so good things to happen. right? And then I'm gonna go back to his statement and talk about why I like his, because his statement actually fall in line with mine. They all do, but I think that the devil is in the detail, and so is the light, and so is the light, right? Because the universe is about balance. So, just real quick, for you to say trust in God, that could be a Catholic priest telling parents that while he molesting their kids. I represent God, trusting God, right? This is what I say when you say trust in God. I do trust in God because God gave me 5 senses, right? So he gave me the ability to see what's wrong with my child, right? And God, I trust in God to give me the signs. I'm not going to be shook by another person or pretend because somebody said trust in God. I am trusting God, but the trust is in the details and the senses and everything that he gave me the ability to use to figure out what he wants me to see. Okay. So now when he said transparency, we was talking earlier, I said, if I had, first of all, when Dorian hit me, I said, you know what? I don't approach situations like that when I'm trying to give advice. I said, for every person I encounter, I go on that moment and I tailor my advice based on what the energy tells me they need to hear. And I always get people that look at me like they can't believe it. Like God sent me directly to them because they've been needing to hear this. But after I kept thinking about it, I'm like, wait a minute. That may be how I approach a situation, but is there something that I truly want for everybody to walk away and think about? And it is, right? And it's to absorb light, right? Light being the truth, right? Whether you hear it, you see it, you speak it, you realize it, you manifest it, absorb light, right? And in that light, you find purpose because now you're using all your senses to see every day, everything around you, whether you believe in God, you believe in science, whatever you believe in. I call it all, it's a God. If you believe that's why it works, then that's God, right? That's my personal opinion. But whatever universal energy, whatever it is it's always positive or negative. If you choose to live and walk down the path to find your light and what your positivity is, then you absorb in light. You absorb in everything that's in light. That's the truth that's coming to you. So when he said transparent, I'm like, man, well, you know, that's a spinoff. Transparent just means that you not just absorbing the light, you allowing it to pass through you. And maybe somebody standing behind you in your future that you're gonna use, let that shine on.
Okay. Well, you're spitting. So, yeah. What you used to be a rapper or a wordsmith or something? Bro, man, I'm telling you, hey man, bro, these conversations always knock my socks off, man. I'm telling you. Bro, cause y'all be I can say blowing my mind in a way, but it's just the fact what really get me, man, is that we done set up a platform where this can happen. And I'm like, bro, you don't have cats, man, a lot of times sitting around being willing to even take time out of their damn day or their life to have a conversation that's going to be fruitful, unless I'm going to school and I'm going to get 2 credits for this at the end of the semester, right? And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't care about it. You don't care. That's a end objective that I'm working on. You know what I mean? I'm using this to get me something else. Bruh. So yeah. But let me see. Mike, your feedback when I shared it with you was absorb light. But no.
It was absorb light.
Yours was to you adjust whatever you might have said or might say to that in that moment.
Right. That was the yep.
Hit us with it one more time right quick, because we don't have Caleb jump in on there.
Okay. So initially when you asked me, I said, I don't think about a blanket statement. I allow the moment and what I get from that person in the moment to determine what gift I give them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like my gift is to be able to read somebody within seconds and be like, this person's having a hard time with this specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And they always walk away shocked with their mouth hanging open, like, how'd you know that? And I needed to hear that. And I've been asking myself that.
Okay.
And it ain't no magical power. It's I put one and one together based on, you know, something small that they do or who they with. You know, like I told you, I peeped this dude moving through the furniture store with his girl. I had to pull him to the side. I'm like, man, I know exactly what's going on with this relationship. You need to evaluate this. This might not be the person you want to be. And I broke it down to him. He was like, man, I've been tripping on that for a long time. I was like, dude, I can see it all over your face. I was like, I can tell how she moving around this store. She don't even care where you are, but I bet you probably paying for her furniture. He's like, yeah, I am. Right. So just something, you know what I mean? Like it don't have to be a lot, but it's not like some secret power. It's just a gift to really be able to decipher what somebody going through in seconds based on their behavior, what they doing, just the smallest things. Right. And sometimes I just tell somebody I can tell somebody's bothering, like, what's up? You good? And they're like, no, I'm not. And sometimes they just got to tell me what's going on. And then from what they tell me, I give them some advice and they appreciate it. I give them my gift.
Right. So let's go this route with it. What part of that would you be looking to give them for them to take with them into their lives?
So it depends on specifically whatever it is that they're going through, right? It might be words of encouragement.
Okay, I got you.
It might be advice on how to deal with the situation. It could be finding courage to deal with the situation, right? Mm-hmm. It could be they lost a loved one that they didn't make it right with. Yeah. And like for me to delve into that and really figure out why they can't let that go, right? And I'm gonna be honest, like I'm like, if that person left this earth and they had a little solace between that person, I'd be like, look, your love for that person is what it is. And the way that they felt about you at the moment is what it was. You still have a life ahead of you, right? You got kids, you got this. Like, are you gonna let that one thing mess with you so deep into your head that now it takes away your happiness? Are you telling me you deserve not to be happy? Right? It all depends. Like everything is individual. It's for the individual.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah.
So you dropping nuggets. You just can't help it, man. You know what I mean? So walk behind Mike. He got nuggets. So let's do this. I'm gonna throw mine out there because mine matches something John said and something you said too, Mike. And it's crazy because we ain't shared like that back and forth with what, because I ain't even told nobody what mine is yet. But my thing to share with somebody would be to seek truth. Right? And that's like in a quick deep dive with it, and just nothing just jumping out at me like, you know what I mean, an aha, and you know what I mean, bells and whistles and skies opening up and lights coming on. That's something that I feel like if somebody hit me with that, if I was going to be willing and man enough to search that for myself, it'd be something I could rock with to the end of eternity. So, what you got on that, Caleb? Seek truth.
Oh man,
I've told you to seek truth.
You told me to seek truth. Oh man, it's funny how all of our, I guess, our ideas coming into this kind of like interconnects, right? Because everything that Mike said, that led perfectly into I guess my life advice that I would give too. But when I think of seek truth, when I think of truth, there's only one thing that's truthfulness, the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Omniscient. You know what I'm saying? All knowing. Truth is purity. Truth, man, that's it's broad. Truth is broad.
What's up, John?
There we go. Truth is broad. So I guess I have a question for y'all, right? Truth are I'm trying to paint this picture the right way. Boom,
Take
when
your
you
time.
search truth, right? Where are you seeking that? Is that truth that you find within yourself, or truth that you find in your God, your higher being? Or is it a mixture of both?
When I said, when I said that, it was like you said, we're interconnected with this. So if you reference what John said about how God is, he can be whatever he is for you, whatever name you're gonna call him. And this is just some of the ways I crunch that. Whatever name you're gonna call him, all the rest of that, all of the attributes that go that can be um, attributed to God. So when I say truth, what I'm doing is looking at truth beyond what truth that has absolute answers. So it don't matter where that come from, but and the reason I say that is because when I say that, I know I'm the type of person that's gonna vet each instance and each scenario to get my own full-fledged understanding of it, and I'm gonna stand on that truth as a pillar. So when somebody come ask me something, I ain't sitting up there looking like Scooby-Doo, talking and sending you down a fake ass path about something I heard from over here, which is inconclusive or incomplete. So when I say seek truth, that truth, you might not get it immediately, but that's it. So go ahead.
All right, cool. Perfect. So there's a level of wisdom. Wisdom and truth are kind of interchangeable with me, right? As we go through life, we go through, we hear a lot of truths, you know what I'm saying? But the part of wisdom is to determine if the truth is genuinely true, or if it's a bluff, right? And when I go through life, the only thing that gives me peace and purity, where I know for a fact, like, this truth is set in stone and it's the truth, it's from the Lord itself, and just what he says to me. So that's where prayer is just important, you know what I'm saying? You can seek truth through prayer. That's how I seek my truth. You know what I'm saying? When I go through life and I see things where, that can be it, I go to the Lord, boom, and that's where answers start coming in. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, truth equals wisdom, and they're both interchangeable in my opinion. So I think we're handed a lot of truths from a day-to-day basis, you know what I'm saying? But it's our wisdom and our faith and the trust that, and just like you said, it's all interchangeable. Our faith and the trust that the Lord is going to provide us and show us what the truth is, you know what I'm saying? That gives me clarity on my day-to-day. So like, I don't really stress, and I don't really, I'm never really indecisive and trying to fight what's real and what's not, because at the end of the day, it's going to be shown. The Lord's going to show it throughout my day, turn that down.
Right there at the end, I think I agree with that completely, especially how you just finished that off. So what's interesting to me about the idea of truth is people try and identify something called objective truth or ultimate truth. And this is something I think about a lot, because if someone was to ever find out what objective or ultimate truth is, they basically have the keys to life. But the problem with that is we experience life subjectively, which means everyone's ultimate truth isn't the same. I'm not going to say it's different, but for the most part, if someone was to say, gun to your head, tell me what the most true thing is that's true over everything, we'd probably all give a slightly different answer. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But here's what I'm getting at. I think the way that I identify truth, to answer your question, let's just say this, is I do something called reality testing. So I experiment with my life. I experiment with people, and not in any malicious or weird or, like retracted way, but in a genuine manner, to see what works and what doesn't work. So in regards to finding out what's true, it's all determined, in my opinion, based off of what works. What is its utility? How does something benefit me and the people around me? So when we're talking about truth, I think it's important to keep it closely connected to what's beneficial, because there could be something that's true that's completely irrelevant, or there could be something that's true or that's evil, or however you'd want to characterize it. So the way that I find my truth, to answer the question, is by reality testing. I see what works, what works with people, what benefits me and my loved ones and the people around me, and in my real life experience. That's what I identify as truth. And as a consequence of that, my truth is constantly changing. I couldn't tell you right now that what is true to me right now is what was true to me 3.5, 4 years ago. And I wouldn't bet all my coins on what's true to me now being what's going to be true to me in about 5 years from now. I think it's a very, and don't get me wrong, I do think that there are principles and there are a handful of truths that are always going to be true. I'm not that mixed up about it. I just think that for a large portion of, the way that we deal with things and beliefs and truths and false, they change a lot based on our experience. Something I've learned just now, becoming 22, 23, and just being a teenager not too long ago, is I thought I had certain things figured out before, and now I reflect so often and go, God damn, you're a whole different person now, and there are a lot of things that you couldn't even comprehend before. And so what I do now is go, wait a minute, this is a little scary. You're gonna look back in about 10 years when you're 30 something and go, he didn't have a clue. So what I try and do now is keep myself in a plastic state, in a state of learning and growth. So I'm a bit less concerned with trying to identify what's ultimately true now, and I'm more so concerned with being honest so that I can learn and figure out what is as true as I can possibly understand right now. So hopefully I didn't go too far off, but that's kind of where I'm at with the whole truth thing. To summarize it.
Can I jump in real quick?
Right.
So no, I heard what you said, and from a young age, I knew that I thought about things a lot differently than my peers too. And I'm about 25 years older than you. I will say this.
That's why you get up so early in the morning, right?
The fundamentals of what I thought were true back then haven't changed much. You get it. You're a smart dude. But what I will say is they have evolved a lot. So I wanted to put that in there, because when I heard you say change, I'm like, nah, you got a good grasp on everything. There may be a few things that change, but for the most part, you on track to understanding life. You're going to go through a lot of evolution. And a big part of that is going to be because the world changes. And you have to understand the concepts as new concepts, are born.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Mike. Like, yeah, John, you nailed it. I think the one thing, because you nailed the whole part about it changing and everything too, because truth can in itself could be a broad term. Like, you can apply truth to a lot of different things in life, But my thing is I'm gonna go back to what I said about seeking a truth that's undeniable. Seeking, you know what I mean? So it's not to say that different things are not true, but those ain't the things I'm really trying to attach myself to. You know what I mean? I'm trying to attach myself to something that's going to fundamentally make me as enlightened as possible about how I'm moving. Like you said too, about being honest with myself about what's going on around me and how I'm moving, who I am. Right? I always start with who am I? because if I don't know who I am, the truth that might be right on the tip of my nose might not be available for me. You know what I mean? So it's just, for me, it was more or less just saying like, hey, I'm going to vet each situation that come across my plate. I guess to the point of saying, let me break down all these myths and misconceptions that's been fed to me all my life, because I have been basically supporting and carrying the water of a whole lot of people in a whole lot of situations that I can put under a microscope and now realize that this ain't even something that I'm really about. But it's all I've received. It's all I've been programmed to know. So I'm used to it. You know what I mean? But it's like I'm old enough now to say, hold on, let me give that a second look. You know what I mean? And then, like I say, evaluate it, kick it out if it don't apply to me no more, but run with it if it do. You know what I mean? So just putting myself to the task of saying, how does this all really look to me? Even if we go with God, what does this person's version of God mean to me? What does this person's version of God mean to me? You know what I mean? For myself. And when I get conclusive answers, I can rock with it. I can keep on going. Right. But hey, Caleb, you said the same as far as like what your thing would be to offer somebody.
Yeah, so very similar to Mike's. So yeah, my life, I guess, advice, if there's one thing I could tell everybody, is if everybody has the fullest intention on whoever they come across, it could be for 5 minutes, 5 seconds, 5 hours, who knows? If you have the sole intention on making their day better after coming across you, there'd be no problems in the world, right? And I guess to give that just a broad term is showing love. Super cliche, but things are called they're cliche for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the truth. So yeah, boom, showing love. So with that being said, very similar to Mike, and I can resonate a lot with what he said. I think the first step to that is treating each person as their own, right? You often see, like, in just my experience in the classroom, just graduated, and just all the various jobs that I've worked, you know what I'm saying? There's like that hospitality and customer service where it's just a blanket, you treat people this way, right? But you can't connect with everybody in that way. It has to be interpersonal. So like that's where each person you come across, man, if you have the sole intention on, it could be for 5 seconds. Y'all can be in the elevator, you know what I'm saying, to spark up some type of convo with the sole intention on just making their day better when they walk out the elevator. You know what I'm saying? There would be no problems in the world. And I'm a sole believer on that because I adopted this lifestyle and just this life philosophy, I guess, a little over a year ago. And how it started was finding your intrinsic happiness, right? The happiness that you can control each and every day, 24/7. That's just on your own, right? So with that being said, right, I love sunsets. I'm sure we all do, but it might be cloudy tomorrow, or that sunset might not hit the same, you know what I'm saying, next week. But my intrinsic happiness, and it took me some time to figure it out, it is showing love and ultimately making everybody that I come across their day a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny, that's how I got interconnected with you, Dorian. I actually ran into John into the gym one time. I don't know if you remember John, but
I remember. Yeah.
He was talking the phone. So yeah, that's the happiness that's the happiness I can control. And once I figured out that intrinsic happiness, I don't have bad days. Don't get me wrong, the Lord is gonna make me struggle. I got my trials and tribulations like we all do, you know what I'm saying? It's a bumpy hill. But no matter how low my day is, my intrinsic happiness makes it's a good day nonetheless, you know. And that's something that, yeah, I wish I can share with just the world, you know. And if I can ever build a platform, that's the one thing. And I'm going on a little rant here, but I think this is just as important, right? So I created this term, not necessarily a term, but just saying where the blesser gets blessed times 10, and it feeds right into my life philosophy, right? So that being said, boom, if you notice, and I want y'all to really think about it, right? Boom, we're a lot more fortunate than, you know, the houseless people out here and just people overall, right? So when we're giving that $5 to or $10 to a homeless person, yada yada yada, I realize as I'm doing these, and I'm not doing it for no recognition, I can give a damn about that. I'm doing it out the kindness of my heart. I realize throughout my weeks, throughout yada, 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 I'm getting this times 10. Boom, I got a new client. Boom, I got a new job offer. This happened, yada, 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 you know? So boom, the blesser gets blessed times 10. So go ahead and like share those blessings and you're gonna get it back times 10. And I stand on that because that's my truth. And it's my truth because I see it playing out each and every day. So yeah, those
See, you would probably be blown away by the stuff that we talked about on the call last week. Who am I?
That's what I was gonna
Because
say.
you're defining that, bro. You defining that. Keep that. But we ain't gonna pour water on it now. We're gonna put it on ice for a second to get the drum roll. Marcus, it's
Yo,
time.
Marcus, what's up with you?
what's good?
Hey, so
You want me to knock it out?
respond to Caleb. What how would you feel if he gave you that offering as life advice?
He's got some great advice. Very articulate, very not super direct, but it's like you could go to the left a little bit, left to the right a little bit. Really enjoyed his speaking. You got a gift, kid. I just call you a kid because I know I'm older than you.
That's fine. That's fine.
So my version of the truth, man. You know what? This is what I've always said. Tell the absolute truth for 5 of your days, 5 days, and see how many friends do you really have. Tell them the absolute truth and see how many friends you got after 5 days. And I'm keeping it 100.
That's facts.
We're all liars. We lie every day. We're told lies every day, and that's just the truth. That is the truth. So the government ain't gonna tell us the truth. You know, the world isn't gonna tell us the truth. Like I said, if you love the world, then you don't love the Father. The world is gonna stick. The world will give you everything you want, Lambos, girls, all that. Okay, but that ain't gonna get you through them pearly gates. At the end of the day, you know, the world's gonna lie to you. And like I say, the world is not it's Lucifer's world. This is his earth. This is his belonging. You know, so I say just telling the absolute truth is hard. I'm kind of an asshole. I don't worry about because no one's whooping my ass. So I tell the truth usually straight up, and it usually gets me in trouble. And it really got me in trouble with my baby mama in court because I told her the truth. I was like, you know, I don't want to marry you. I just want 3 kids from you. And it cost me $10,000 in court. So telling the absolute truth and not lying to people and prolonging stuff and this and that, like I just said I need to tell her the absolute truth, and I did, and I had to pay for it. So that's when I learned that, you know, if you tell the absolute truth to whoever you're close to, 9 times out of 10 they're not going to be your friend anymore. Because like I say, everybody's used to being lied to. You know, everybody's used to it. You're so used to it. It's just, you just keep on going with it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I told my mom this, and like I say, Jesus told the truth, and look what it ended up with him, crucified. So what do you think is going to happen to you? So telling the absolute truth or the truth, or it's just so vague. Even if you bend it a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know how to answer that truth thing, man. I just say we're not told the truth even from birth. So
well, here I'll go ahead and try and lay this on top of that. So I hear what you're saying, and I think you're beginning to uncover something that's deep. So when we talk about the absolute truth and the idea that speaking the absolute truth with loved ones and people that you know will result in some sort of a destruction in the relationship or some sort of chasm.
Yeah.
I think that's because the way that we develop our relationships are based off of it's sort of like an agreed upon we agree to treat each other in certain ways.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's like to a certain degree, like some people, like you'll have friends where you guys can crack jokes where it can get a little aggressive sometimes, but you guys still understand each other.
Yeah.
And then you have relationships with people where you know that if you were to touch that same line, it'll probably cause some problems. So I think the reason why we can't be completely transparent, let's say, with everyone is because people have different levels of sensitivity when it comes to truth. So I don't think it's so much of a problem that if you were to tell the complete truth to everyone that you're close with, that it would destroy the relationship. I just think we need to make sure that we understand where we sit with everyone. Because I have certain relationships with friends where I don't really feel the need to tell them the 100% truth about every little thing. Not only because I feel like they already know it, but because it's like bringing a lighter to a place where it's like the grass is already dry. I don't know. Because this is something I think about a lot. So it's almost like there are certain people that deserve the truth, and there are certain people that it's almost not your job to kind of tell them where their demons are, or how ignorant they are. So if you get what I'm saying, if you get
I hear you.
Can I hop in on that real quick?
Yeah.
So this might give you some clarity, John. So I took this philosophy class my last semester before I graduated, right? And a part of it was going over like friendships and morals and virtues, right? Ethical philosophy. So throughout my whole course, time taking this course, I created my own, I guess, standard, my own criteria to determine like a true friendship and not, and you might be able to use this because once I started implementing this to all like my friendships and all my homies and yada yada yada, I started realizing which friendships are really true friendships and which ones are just acquaintances or here for a good time, not a long time, right? So I say a true friendship, and this goes for significant others, for family, for friends. It's those two people have the purest intentions for each other, right? The purest intentions, which means being completely brutally honest and sharing your truth out of the for having the purest intentions for them, right? So you realize, and I realized over this time period, right? I got a lot of friends where I might have the purest intent. I'll keep it honest with them, but if they're not holding me accountable and they're not sharing, they're not reciprocating that same
energy back to you
component. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. True friendships, true relationships, both parties have to have the purest intentions, and there's you can't beat around the bush when we're talking about purity. Purity is clean. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that gave me a lot of clarity. You see who really are your true friendships and true ones, and that you can keep it very truthful with,
You know what? I agree with that 100%. I guess I was more so, and I appreciate that because although I'm not in school, I spend a large majority of my time reading psychology and neuroscience books. So this is something I look into a lot. What I was speaking about was more so from like an being interested perspective. Like I'm interested in why people are incapable or unwilling to be honest and transparent in relationships because I come from a large family. So with regards to purity in relationships, you're 100. I agree with you 1,000%. But I'm also interested in why certain people are incapable because I have a certain level of empathy. I'll be honest. I know this. A lot of these people want that level of deepness and they crave for it and yearn for it, but they also complain by that same token about never meeting people. And I go, you've never said a real thing in your life, or perhaps you've never said any, and perhaps you're not even being honest with yourself, and that's why you meet someone like me and you're not able to vibe with me, and or you meet other people and every relationship that you have becomes problematic or renders itself pathological. So it's just interesting to me. I agree with you, but no, not but I agree with you, and I find people that are unable to have good relationships very interesting. I just wanted to add that on top. It's
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
right
that's
there,
real.
right there
That's
with you.
real right
That's
there.
real. That's
Time
real.
out.
Time out.
he
Time
said
out.
time out on the
Time
play.
out.
Hey.
Time out.
There.
Yeah, hey, nah, bro. Cause hey, I'm saying, bro, it don't stop when we get on these calls. It's bananas. Dope feedback, man. I just want to get throw this in there. Back to the thought of where my question even came from. And where my question came from is basically what we've been building on in the last few calls. It's been coming up again and again and again, essentially about defining who we are as people, as men. Who am I? That was one. Another one that keeps resonating or keeps coming up is if you acknowledge yourself as a person who bears gifts, if you acknowledge yourself, if you acknowledge the potential and the power that you have. I heard it said before, power of life and death is in the tongue. I believe that shit. But the thing is, if I'm now taking myself to task for being a blessing and being blessed to be a blessing, I'm bearing gifts. So to tie all of that together, it brought me to the point of asking the question, what would you give? What would you offer to somebody as life food, basically? You get what I'm saying? So that's how this call even came about. And the reason why that's so important to me is that's the thing. It's important to me as a gift bearer, as somebody that wants to let my words and my actions impact people and to enrich their lives. You know, so one of the things attached to that, and I'm sure Mike will agree, because he remember us talking about this. Because Caleb, you just talked about intention. You got intentions and you got expectations. What we've been talking about a lot of is I can have the purest intentions, but a lot of times if I'm not careful, I'll express my intentions and they'll have an expectation attached to it, right? Now I'm seeking control. You know what I'm saying? So
It's not organic. It's not organic anymore.
You get what I'm saying? Because now if it ain't looking like you want it to look, I'm over here touching it and messing with it again. You get what I'm saying? So the whole point of me bringing this to the table for us to talk about was because we need to, as leaders and as bearers of gifts, we need to be available and able to extend our gift because we bear gifts. We full of them. We need to be able to extend that to whoever and walk away. It ain't your job to sit up there and babysit the gift that you just gave them. That ain't your job. Your job is to extend that gift. Me and Mike always talk about you gonna give it to him on a garbage can lid with rats and roaches and everything on it, mold and all that on it. Here's your gift, bro. Right? Are you gonna slap them upside their head, giving them the gift, or are you gonna make it as feasible and as palatable and as warm and accepting, inviting as possible?
That they possibly need.
That's intention, right? Expectation is you sitting there talking about how you like it, how you like it. You remember when I gave you that gift? You remember when I gave you that gift? Because you got an expectation attached to it. Now think about how many scenarios in your life where you see stuff like that happen. Dog, man, you tripping, man. I can't, you don't remember? Like, really? So we gotta actually revisit the topic where we talked about who am I, right? and then look at how we project with intention in the different situations that we deal with, right? Because ain't nobody running nothing but the man upstairs. I don't care what you call him, right? So if you understand how he moved, he ain't came and slapped you upside your head and said, look at me. Look at these stars. You ain't seen what all I did for you? Think about it. No, he ain't said that. He said it and forgot it. He left it there. He said, y'all figure this out. I gave you the gift. That's what he's saying. I gave you the gift. It's on you to receive it and grow from it and figure out the truth in it.
You know, one of the first things I ever told to you, Dorian, was, and I remember if you remember that day when you asked me, it was one of the very first things I told you was, we have to be careful of our intentions. We have to pay attention to ourselves. We have to be aware of our unconscious intentions when we're engaging with the world, when we're engaging with people, because I came to an understanding that oftentimes we have unconscious motivations when we're dealing with people and when we're dealing with situations, and they're not always malicious, but oftentimes they're unbeknownst to us and they're different from what we think they are. And I think that's exactly what you're talking about right now. And what's also connected to that in a very fundamental way is honesty, your ability to be honest with yourself, which is kind of what the thing is that I texted you for the topic today, was your ability to be transparent. And let's get this straight. No one can be completely transparent with themselves. We're very complicated beings, humans, especially men. So, but I guess more so what I was saying was,
right,
to the degree that we can be honest with ourselves. I mean, let's get that part straight. We're not omnipresent. We're not God. We can't be completely transparent with ourselves. But to whatever degree that we can, we have to get there. Otherwise, none of our relationships will be built on the foundation of purity, of honesty, of strength or integrity, for that matter. So I agree with what you're saying. I just wanted to throw that in there because it's much easier said than done, but it's extremely important. It's detrimental. So, yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because look how many opportunities we have, like what was spoken on the call a little while ago, being inundated with multitudes of misinformation, myths, you know what I mean? Just outright lies that populate and are prevalent in society every single day. We got that in abundance. You know what I mean? So if I'm seeking, it's gonna take work. Like you said, it's gonna be hard to be on top of that 100% of the time. But if you don't actively take a stance, see, because now you're putting a line of separation between you and the average cat walking around. You ain't making yourself no bigger or no better, but you just saying, look, I'm not gonna allow for the constant state that I'm in to prevail when I know I'm being fed lies from over here. I know this is something that society just accepts because it's a common rule. You know what I mean? I got to break those things down for myself, you know, and I got to get a little bit more closer to the truth. That's what I'm saying. A little bit more closer to the truth and try to be honest about it in the process. If I'm now turning around and being one that's going to bear gifts to somebody else. I can't keep how I'm giving you a gift if I'm giving you the same thing, these lies I've been gave.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I haven't been honest with myself, that's okay. But if I have been honest with myself, it's going to change what I'm giving.
Hey, let me build on that.
Go ahead, build on that.
And I'm in construction, bro.
There you go.
Yeah. But to further go with that and how I talked about light earlier, I had an analogy, but it's pulled from science. In science, we're supposed to be in a constant state of dark. That's what we're taught in science. I don't see you. What I see is the reflection of you as light bounces off dust particles in the air. So if we're in constant light and in constant dark, right? I choose to stay in light.
Okay.
Right? So am I seeking light or am I waiting for light to get to me? Am I absorbing the light or am I going to look for light? I see it as, why can't you be in both states perpetually and be in the middle? Because now I've allowed myself to open up to receive the light as I've allowed myself to search the light. If I'm in that constant cyclical pattern or perpetual motion, then now I'm the best light source, while at the same time absorbing as much light as I possibly can.
Can you break that down for me to it like I'm a fifth grader?
So if the light signifies truth, happiness, everything positive in life, right? Giving gifts is positive, as well as receiving positive gifts and giving positive gifts. If I'm in the state of being in light because I choose to be positive, instead of choosing to be in darkness and let darkness be ignorance or turning a blind eye or jealous, or all the negative things that can be defined by darkness, right? If I choose the light and stay in the light, that's the best state I believe to be in. And so then to truly be in light, I'm both absorbing it, putting myself in a manner to not self-validate and receive these gifts as I talk to y'all, right? But also allowing myself to be in a state where I can share my gift with you.
I understand what you're saying. You know, I was I something very similar to what to how you just described that state of being. I find very beneficial, but because of the way that my life is and who my family is and the people that I'm forced to engage with on a daily basis because of my job and because of numerous different things, I find that I think I may be misinterpreting what you said, but I sort of embody the light and the darkness. And when I say that, I mean I embody the light within me, and I embody the darkness within me, because it better allows me to deal with people that exist on that broad range of a spectrum in real life. So when it comes to people that are very light, I can deal with them using lightness. And when it comes to people that exist on the lower end of that light spectrum, I can deal with them honestly and just as genuinely, because I've acknowledged to the extent that it exists within me. So it's sort of a decision to stick on the light end. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing. I think I may be misinterpreting you, but I'm just saying how I look at it, because we know that everyone doesn't think the same way that we do. I sort of get more power from embodying the darkness and the brightness within me.
Absolutely. I don't think you disagree with what I said. I
don't
actually
think I do. Okay.
I think you expanded on it, right? Because what I said was choosing light, and that's even making light out of dark situations. I came from darkness. I'm comfortable when I close my eyes or the lights cut off in the room. I can feel around, right? Oh, this is you? Cool, check this out. If you go this way, I'm gonna push you in this direction. You open that door, it's light over there. Right? Or maybe you cool in this dark room. But if you ever want to find some light, you can feel for me over here in the corner. Now, I don't have to tell you that you got a blindfold on and it's already light in this room. But I will tell you, if you step outside that door, I'll take the blindfold off of you, because you made an attempt to try to find light for yourself.
Can I interject? Can I not even interject? Because everything both of you guys said were completely like it's the truth. But I guess I'm gonna give my point of view, right? And we got John that said he lives in the middle of both, you know what I'm saying? And then you got Mike who says yada yada yada. I don't want to say yada yada to discredit, but I don't want to go on a full rant. I want to get straight to my point. My opinion, I live in light. I don't know darkness, right? That's where I think that I differ a little bit, right? And that's where I'm going to expand on, right? So we all heard this verse before, right? trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understandings, right? So boom, when you put yourself, and I shared this with with Dorian earlier on this week, maybe last week, right? There's this phrase, the saying that stuck with me since my middle school years, right? Which is I am third, right? You put the Lord first, you put others second, and I am third, right? So boom, you're putting yourself third. Like I'm not really even in the equation because I got the Lord to worry about and I got others, you know what I'm saying? And if I prioritize those, then I'll be okay, right? So that being said, trusting in the Lord 100% means trusting that I'm just a pawn in his chess game. You know what I'm saying? And as I move through life, it's not a matter of, oh, there's this person who's maybe a little darker than that person. Because in my opinion, we're all sinners. We're no different from each other, right? So with that being said, trusting that the Lord, I guess just to get straight to the point, right? As I go through my day and I come across people who may be darker than the others, you know what I'm saying, who might be yada, yada, yada. As I interact with them, or if I see them, you know, from my peripheral, yada, 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 I praise to the Lord. And that's where his truth and his answers, I'm getting off track here a little bit. It sounded better in my head. But
I kind of get what you're trying to give off right now. I hear you.
It's like, and then I guess to tie it back into the I live in light, right? I don't see darkness. I don't know what darkness is because here's the thing, blessings, right? The word manifestation has came out within the past couple of years and yada, yada, yada. But that word is overstepping the word blessing, right? I didn't do nothing. There's this job. I can't manifest the job. There's other people that want this job, but the Lord blessed me with this job, right? So that's where I don't really agree with the term manifestation, right? So that being said, I'm in light. I don't know nothing other than the Lord. I don't know who that is. I don't know who Satan is. You know what I'm saying? He's out there. He's out the way. He's down there, all that I know of. You know what I'm saying? For all that I know. So boom, walking throughout my day, I see my blessings. Boom, my blessings outshine any type of darkness that's on this earth, you know, on this earth. You know what I'm saying? So I think, boom, moving forward, when I wake up, I see my blessings, and we've all heard this the saying before. It's very cliche, but I wake up, I count my blessings, I see my blessings throughout the day, and boom, when I lay my head on my pillow right here at night, boom, I see the blessings that came through, and I don't remember any of the darkness. I don't know what darkness is because I got the Lord, and He's ultimate light. You know what I'm saying? He's ultimate light. He's omniscient. He's all there. You know, so. Yeah, I guess that's my little my sense. I don't know.
What I'm hearing is that your cup, it ain't always half full. It's overflowing.
Yeah, it's overflowing. Because that's the thing. Like,
hey, real talk. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing.
We're so blessed. Like, no matter how, like you said, you came from darkness. No, you didn't. And I can say, no, you didn't. None of us came from darkness. You know what I'm saying? We came from the Lord. The Lord placed us on this earth. You know what I'm saying? We all came from a beautiful mother, but I don't want to go too deep into it.
No, it's okay. Remember this, though. Remember this. Words is a person's way of expressing their own. It's a means of expressing through interpretation, right?
Yes.
So because I use the word darkness, right, it would take for me to break down the detail for you to understand why I use that word.
Yeah.
Now, this is what I will say. I will say I came from darkness. I will. But I will say that God always kept me in his light.
There we go. Now we're
talking.
But
see, don't lose the gift. You get caught up in a word. Right? Because the truth is in the detail. It took for me to just break that down for you a little bit more to say, okay, I can rock with that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. But it was the truth, though.
One of the beautiful things about all that is how sometimes it takes an extended conversation to get to the bottom of it. And because we're all actually seeking with a pure intention, it ain't about cutting the next dude off. It ain't about you said it wrong. It's about let's get to the best middle ground for this so I can understand, so you can be fully heard and we both can grow.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Real, that's facts.
So when you show up with your gift, that's what you're doing for people. You making sure, hey, I got one damn job.
You got a
one
package.
job.
Yeah,
I need to do this right. And I'm gonna hit back. We're gonna wrap this one up, dog. I know we can keep on.
I know.
Going.
I'm looking at. I'm like 20 minutes
But
past
look,
schedule right now.
Right.
no, this is when we're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna piggyback on what Marcus said, because Marcus hit hard with what he said.
I want to finish.
And everybody know I'm just gonna go with, because John picked it up too, though. When it was getting deep. What I got out of that was the part what he said about the story of Jesus. Look what they did to him when he was bringing light. Mike, you've been talking about light. I expounded on truth. They kind of tight. They tight knit, right? The thing is, if you are a gift bearer, you're in that same boat. If you're telling the truth too much, you're in the same boat. Because if you buck in the system, they was worshiping devils and goats and you know what I mean, all this stuff. And he was like, hold on, bro, that ain't what's real. You know what I mean? And because it didn't fit the narrative, it didn't fit the current state of affairs that was gonna get you a gold chain and some 24s on your car, they was like, no, we got to get rid of this dude. Straight up. So once again, you got to remember that you're carrying on a hell of a task to actually be open and honest and have transparency and integrity with what you're doing. And even when you're presenting that gift to somebody, don't mean, like I said, you got to be the best gift giver ever, but don't mean your gift gonna be received either. You get what I'm saying? So y'all gonna be sitting there fighting you to death about a gift that you know is good for them. They killed Jesus, bro. That's the fact.
For the truth.
They killed that dude, and he was trying to give them the gift of life.
Wow, come on.
How about it? So now I want to wrap it up with that because I know we could probably keep on going, right?
Oh, for another 2 hours.
That's a story that
I want to say something before we wrap up. I want to say something before we wrap up, please.
Go ahead.
It's just two things.
Okay.
It's just two things. We have to make sure that we remember that people interpret life differently. Two different people will interpret the exact same situation in two completely different ways. We are all different.
You're right.
Now, what is true might be the same thing, but people are different. Now, if you want to attribute that to someone being better or worse, and you can do it however you want to do it. But what I've learned is that people interpret the phenomena of life in completely different ways, and there ain't a thing you can tell certain people. You just have to accept it and love them the same. And also, what I want to say is I'm not gonna lie, I forgot the second thing, but we gotta love everybody with the same love.
Hey, that's real.
We still love you,
that's real.
We still love you.
Hey, the first thing you said was enough for both of them.
Wait, go, Marcus, close it out, bro. Close it out. Let's go.
Man, let's close it out with a word of prayer.
All right,
let's go.
Go ahead, D. You had it.
Oh man. Father, we'll just do it this way. To who it is that you attribute your source. We want to just pray thanks, blessings, and we ask that you continually encourage us to inspire and impart and be motivated to seek all of the fullness that you have provided for us, and that you will have us understand and discover as we walk out our days on this earth. I'm thankful for the blessing, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to sit with these gentlemen and have this call. This is going live. I'm putting it on YouTube, and we just ask that you let it reach and touch as many people as you would see fit. Amen.
Amen. Love you guys.
Likewise, brother.
All right.
I recorded it.
Hey, now.
All right.
All right.
All right, then, y'all. Y'all have a great night, okay? Appreciate the love.
All right.
I'll see y'all soon, okay?
See you soon.
Oh, y'all take care.